Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, September 2nd, Labor Day weekend. My name is Craig Smolders, joined as always by Rob Young here for this episode of Circle Track Chatter. Good evening, Rob. How are you this evening?
I'm great, Craig. And you?
I am awesome. Thank you very much. How's your weekend going? Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Of course, it was Buxton on Saturday night. Some great racing action there, and then believe it or not, on Sunday I went to a diaper party. You ever hear that?
Well, you're gonna have to fill me in. What is a diaper party?
Well, you know how when mothers are expecting, they have a baby shower, right? Well, most everybody out there knows Kirk Hooker's daughter Taylor, and Taylor is expecting a little boy in December, and so so now they have a diaper party where a bunch of guys get together and they bring diapers and wipes and all that stuff, and get a big pile of it. And you sit around and you shoot the breeze and eat some food and play games and stuff. Yeah, so a diaper party. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then of course my other son-in-law, Ryan's family had a family reunion every Labor Day weekend. They get together at Erio, and had a big party there yesterday. So it's been a jam-packed weekend. So glad we had today off.
Yeah, yeah, it was nice to have a little bit of a rest day. To be honest, I actually slept all day. We got home at I think it was 3:30 or 4 o'clock this morning from Brighton Speedway. So we hit the road. Me and the wife and the kids. We hit the road and we went to Merrittville. We went to Brighton and saw some different dirt track racing. But we're going to get into that a little bit later on because we're not talking about dirt track racing tonight at all. We're talking about some asphalt racing. We have the driver, a pure stock driver, the driver of the number 51 from Flamborough, Reece Bourgeois. She's going to be joining us.
Well, yeah, it's always fun to talk to the girls about how they got into racing and their sort of take on it. At our track we have a couple girls racing there, Paige Lemieux and Laura Authier. I mean, it's funny, you pick certain drivers and you watch them, and I watch Jake Hooker most of the time when he's in the Thunderstock, but Paige is one of the other ones to keep my eye on too. She's always in there mixing it up. So it's funny. Stock car racing is a sport where you don't have to. You don't have to. It's mostly guys that race, but the girls get out there and can do just as good a job. It's not. There's no real physical demand now with power steering and everything like that. But yeah, they do a good job too. So it's fun. It's fun to talk to them and find out their take. Plus, they bring a lot of the younger fans out. The younger fans like to cheer on the girls, and especially the younger female fans like to cheer on the girls. So it'd be fun to talk to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, have you ever, I know you did some asphalt racing. Have you ever raced at Flamborough?
Nope, I was mostly just a fan. Been to Flamborough a number of times, but didn't get a chance to go down there. No, I was kind of this end of the county or this end of the province. Um, Stayed around here.
Okay. Well, let's get Reece in here and let's have a little chit chat with her and let's get to know her just a little bit more. Reece, come on in. Hi, Reece. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am awesome. Welcome to Circle Track Chatter. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how was your weekend? Actually, did you race this weekend?
I did not race this weekend.
Okay, so how was your Labor Day weekend?
It was pretty good.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Very good. Rob, do you have any questions to open up with Reece here before we get going?
Well, just to introduce Reece to our audience here. Reece is from a little place called Lincoln, Ontario, which is not far from Hamilton. And she races at Flamborough. We had a chance to talk to her a little bit about, her that she just graduated from Niagara College, and she's going to be a pharmaceutical technician. I believe that's what you call it, Reece.
Yeah.
So she's. I said, man, some of those pills and whatnot. I don't take a lot of them, but some of the names they take up the whole alphabet. I don't know how in the world you can remember all that stuff. So you have to have a pretty good education for that. And I'm pretty sure you look like you're a pretty smart person. So you're the one I'd want to be looking after medication if I had to come into the pharmacy for sure. But other than that, yep, that's what she wants to be. Other than her racing career. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, do you want to talk about that a little bit, Reece? Being a pharmaceutical tech and how much schooling is involved in that, and what the whole process is for that?
Yeah. So it's a 2-year program in college. So it's not too long, which is good. Once you graduate and you finish, you still have to take like your board exams to become registered. You have to take 3 of them, and then you have to do another placement with the College of Pharmacists. It's not a long process, but everything has its own like date and when they do it. So it's not close. Everything's spread out. So it can take up to like 6 months to become fully registered, depending on how quickly you want to get registered, or if you just want to stay in retail, or if you want to work in the hospital, or whatever you want to do with it.
Okay, and you have an exam coming up here pretty soon. You told us, correct?
Yeah, I have 2 exams next week.
2 exams. Oh wow. Well, we're not going to keep you around for too long. We just want to talk about racing a little bit. So we want to make sure you can get back to your studies because obviously, career-wise, it's it's more important to be focused on that rather than the race. We want you to focus on the racing too, but make sure that you're all set for your future for sure. So are you ready to talk about racing? Do you want to give us just a quick little intro about the racing before we get into the full story?
Sure.
Like where you race at and that.
Yeah. So I usually race at Flamborough Speedway. I haven't raced much this year due to me finishing school and getting ready for those exams. I started in 2019 when I was 14 years old. I didn't race much during COVID because I was still new to it, didn't know what was going on. I came from the stands. I don't have any racing background whatsoever. I grew up watching the races with my family, going every Saturday. I fell in love with it. I wanted to do it. It took a long time to convince my mom. She thought I was nuts. And then she eventually gave in and was like, okay, you can try it. And then I've been hooked on it ever since.
Awesome. And Flamborough, a little bit more on that because you race there. I've actually never been there as a fan. I will get there eventually. I've never been there a fan. How big is it? Is it banked? Is it tight corners, long straightaways? Can you tell us a little bit about the track?
It's a quarter of a mile, the track. The banks aren't too bad. They're not like Sunset's banks. They're a little better. Um, Corners 1 and 2 are definitely where everyone has their little oopsies here and there. Um, we all think it's because that's where the offshoot is. So when you're turning, you see it, and everyone kind of panics, but it's not too bad. It's definitely a fun track. Um, People do have a hard time sometimes getting used to the track, and I don't find an issue with it. I think it's just because that's the first track I raced. That's the track I do most of my practices on. But it's definitely a fun track to race on.
Perfect. Rob, do you have any questions about that?
Well, I remember, so I was talking to Reece before the show, and so I'm 64 years old, and I started when I was 20 years old, and on the asphalt. And a lot of really good drivers came from Flamborough. We're talking about the Zardo family, Bill Zardo, and his grandson Lane still races. I see him at Delaware every now and again. But there was a lot of guys from up that way. Junior Hanley and Don Biederman used to come down to Checker Flag, which is a track I used to race at in Southern Ontario. But yeah, man, I'll tell you, when those guys came down, you had a 100 lapper. Man, there's a lot of talent, and a lot of that track has a lot of history. As I said, especially the Zardo family. Yeah, there's tons of stories about that family from that track. So you're coming from a really a racetrack that's rich in history. So yep, I'm again glad to have Reece on here and talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess you started racing in 2019. Like you started out in the pure stock. What was like? How did you? I get sorry, I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, but how did you kind of get into racing, and what was it about the pure stock that kind of attracted you to try that out?
So my grandpa, who that's in the picture, that's me and my grandpa when I was younger. He used to take my mom and my aunt there when they were younger. And then they had kids. We all started going. It was just a family thing. We all used to go. I found it interesting. I enjoyed watching, you know, cars drive in a circle. It was entertaining, and I don't know. There's a thrill to it just watching, thinking that you're racing a car, and it took a lot of convincing, a good like 5 years of getting in my mom's face and being like, I want to do that. She was like, no, you're crazy. You're not getting behind the wheel of a car and driving. Like that's no. Like, and I was like, I want to do it. Like it seems fun. Like it's fun. You get a lot of adrenaline, like being in the car watching races. It's a thrill, and I enjoy it.
Rob, do you have any questions about that?
It's so Reece, when you finally convinced your mom, and you said your sister helped you out quite a bit there too. Did you buy a car that was already race ready, or did you guys build the car, or how did that happen?
We ended up buying Ryan Hiller's car. He was selling it, and it's actually a funny story. We were away in Florida, and my mom was showing me pictures, and she was like, "This is a nice car. This is nice." I'm like, "Yeah, that's really nice. Like, I want that car." And she was like, "Well, it is your car." And I was like, "Excuse me? What?" And she's like, "Yeah, like this is your car. Like I bought it." And I was like, "Are you
Oh,
kidding me?" And I started crying. I was so excited. And I just wanted to get home. Like even we were on vacation, but I just wanted to get home so I could just sit in the car.
isn't that something? Yeah, that's an awesome story. I often tell people, they'll ask me, if you're getting into racing, how do you go about it? And the first thing I say is, don't build a car yourself from scratch. Go buy one that's turnkey, ready to race. You'll save a lot of money, and plus you'll get something that's basically you can just jump in and start racing. So what about, did you buy the car, trailer, and everything, or how do you get the car to the track?
So we have friends. We made friends. Heath and Austin Penny. They helped me with like trailering my car, keeping my car at their shop for a little bit. They helped me um, like get used to driving. I've never driven anything before, not even manual, so they had to teach me all that stuff. They were really helpful, and they still are helpful with everything. Um,
No.
and I just, yeah, they were the ones that really helped me start out my racing career.
So you started in 2019, and so here we are. It's 2024, so that would be 5 years ago. And obviously we had COVID and all that stuff that we had to go through. But it looks like you were very successful, kind of right out of the gate. Where being rookie of the year, and then last year you're the points champion. That's pretty good. I know we're going to talk about more about that, but I see that they put a picture up there of a wreck car. So you're going to tell us about this one, aren't you?
Oh my goodness. So that happened my second race ever. It was during hot laps, me and another rookie, just errors, and I ended up hitting turn two full throttle, and I broke my knee.
Wow.
My knee went through my steering column, and it chipped a part of my knee. Um, that was definitely something. I was in that knee brace for a good like month and a half. I still went to the track though. I still hobbled around with crutches and just there supporting everybody, just making sure like I wasn't missing out on anything. I wanted to know what was going on. I just wanted to be there and witness everything. We had to rebuild the whole front end of my car. The car that I still have now is that same car.
Wow.
It took a lot. It took at least I think 2 months to rebuild it.
Hmm. Well, that's great. I mean, it's straightening it all out, and it's a good thing you got lots of help. But wow. So and you basically you got back in there. That didn't scare you. Uh, Good for you. All right, Craig, I'll turn it back to you.
So you said that this accident happened on your second race, right? Practice for your second race. So
Yeah.
how? I'm just curious, how was your first race ever? How'd that go for you?
Oh, I was so scared. I was so scared being put in traffic. Like when we were getting ready, I was like, I'm gonna do so good. This is gonna be great. And then we started racing and I was like, what is going on? Where am I? I don't know what I'm doing. And I started panicking and I I couldn't see. I had my visor of my helmet down and it was all fogged up from me breathing so heavily. I ended up pulling off because I couldn't see. And my mom was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "I can't see." She's like, "What do you mean you can't see?" I'm like, "My visor's all like fogged up. I can't see." And she's like, "You can lift your visor, you know." I was like, I was scared. I didn't want anything to like get my eyes. I didn't know what's going on. Like
Jeez. And did you have a chance to practice a lot before you went out for your first race ever? Like, or was it just kind of like you were just brand new, you were just out there trying it?
we went to a few practices. Heath and Austin trailered my car to practice at Flamborough, and they said they weren't gonna allow me to race unless I hit a specific time for laps. So we were there the whole practice time. I think it was from like 2 till like 7 ish. I was just there, just trying to pick up speed, trying to get comfortable with how the car works, and still trying to learn how to drive. It was definitely an experience.
Okay. And then after your incident, how long were you out of the car for?
Um, I was out a month because of my leg, and then 2 months to rebuild my car. I didn't get back out until like September, October maybe, and I only did like one or two races. I was still super scared to get back out there. Every time I was in my car, I felt like something bad was going to happen. I was going to wreck again or something was going to go wrong. And it took me a while to get that confidence back. to end up racing again.
Okay. So yeah, so you said September, October, and then of course you said it was 2019. So then COVID hits, and it's like, ugh, no, I definitely can't race. What did you do to keep yourself kind of busy and occupied during COVID?
Um, I watched a lot of TV. I didn't really do much.
Oh,
I
that's
did
cool.
race a few of the invitationals Flamborough had just to get a little more comfortable with my car.
Okay, Rob, do you have any questions about that?
So the picture that's up there right now. So you fix the car, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so this must be somewhere around 2022, maybe. Am I right with that? With that been so you fix the car, you painted it orange. It's got the 51 on it. By the way, I'm sure that that Craig's going to get to this, but the 51 number. Is there a significance behind that number?
It was the year that my grandpa was born, who
Okay.
got us into racing.
Wow. Okay. Oh, hey, somebody's older than me. Anyway, yeah. I was just curious. Okay, so you get the car all back together, and you're back out there. And as I indicated earlier here, so you were rookie of the year, and then you win the the points championship the very next year. I mean that tells me that, man, you've really you crashed, you got back out there, and you win a championship. That's pretty. That's something to be said right there. You got to be a pretty good driver then. So good for you. All right, back to you, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of 2022, I guess it was more like 2023. But Circle Track Chatter, Dirt Dog Media, they had their best appearing fan favorite contest, and I would obviously say that you're a pretty popular driver because you had a whole lot of votes going on in there to win that 10. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we do a lot of my mom and I, even my sister sometimes, we used to do a lot of volunteer work, so we met a lot of people through that. Um my sister and I, when we were younger, used to do pageants, so we know a lot of people through that too. And then my sister does cheerleading, so we know a lot of people through that. And we have a lot of family members everywhere, and then obviously they have friends, and this gets out and they just want to support me.
Well, that's absolutely incredible, and we really appreciate all the support that you guys did for that. Because, like I said, it was our first shot at a contest, and we had the tent canopy there, and I was doing all the sharing that I could do, but of course, you guys were in there sharing as well. So, yeah, like I said, you got I don't know, it was up over 1,000 votes anyway, so it was pretty impressive to see. So, yeah, congratulations on that. But back to the racing now a little bit. Your first win, it comes in here in one of these years. Talk about your first win a little bit.
Oh my goodness. My first win, I think, was August, sometime in August of 2021, I think. Yeah, my rookie year.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that I got that win. Like, I don't even know what happened. I just remember, like, driving, and then I saw the checkered flag, and I looked up at the flag guy, and he was giving me the thumbs up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I just won. What the heck? Like, this is insane." And then, you go to victory lane, and they're interviewing you. I had no idea what I was saying. I was just in shock. And then you go to your pit, and I just started crying. I was just like, "Oh my god, like, I won, like, what the heck?" Like, I didn't even know I could do that. Like, it was insane. It took me a good, like, 3 days to, like, process that I actually won the feature.
What was that race like coming to the last part of the finish of that race there? What was it like? Like, was second place close to you? Did you kind of have them in bothering you, or were you just sailing and going for the win?
I think, oh, I don't know. That it feels like so long ago, but it wasn't. But, like, it I think they were close. Like, it wasn't a far enough gap, but I don't even remember, but it was definitely, like, a long it wasn't long from, like, me to the next driver.
Okay. And then, of course, like you got to roll through the scales, and then you got to go to victory lane and all of that stuff. What's that experience like? I mean, I'm guessing, like, I don't drive a race car, and of course I've never won a race, but I'm guessing that it would be kind of overwhelming. Like, wow, I just won, and now I have to find my way to the scales. I don't want to screw this up in victory lane. And am I going to weigh the right amount and all that stuff? What's that experience like for you, Reese?
It's definitely stressful. Like, you obviously, when you get to the track and you weigh your car, you bring all your gear with you to make sure like your weight's fine. But there's always that, like, I don't know how to word it, but there's always that feeling that something is wrong with your car, even though you know 100% that nothing is wrong. But there's always that fear that they're gonna like DQ you for something so small.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, do you have any questions about that?
Well, the division that Reece is in, there, whether you call it a pure stock, bone stock, or mini stock, like we have mini stocks at our track, but it's you really can't do a lot with the cars. You basically you put a roll cage in it and go out there. It's not like some of the in the late model division or the modifieds where you can do stuff that might be a little questionable that the tech guy might not let you get away with. But that's the nice thing about that division that she's in. That it's a great place to start. And I mean, I've been there. I remember my first win, thinking that holy smokes, you see you're trying to figure out how many laps are left to go, and she's talking about the flag man waves a checker flag. Well, I remember counting down. You're leading the race, trying to figure out, okay, if I got 5 laps to go, and then all of a sudden you see that white flag. And say, oh man, one more lap. I just got to make it through these turns. I got to get down the back straightaway into 3 and 4, and then win. And yeah, and anything can happen. But it's such a great feeling to know that you've accomplished that goal. Everybody's there to win the feature. There's only one winner out of all those cars out there. And also, I remember the next week pulling into the pits, thinking, okay, well, I won last week, and I'm on top of the hill right now. It's a funny sport. You can get knocked down pretty quick, but you never forget those wins. That's for sure. Looks like you're pretty excited staying on top of that car. That's a good story, Reece. It's neat to hear that. All right, Craig, back to you.
All right. Well, we just take a quick second here to have a word from our sponsors. So we'll just take a quick break here, step aside for a second, and we'll be right back with Pure Stock driver Reece Bourgeois. And Circle Track Chatter presented by Elliot and Ashley Wilton of Royal LePage Piper Realty, the fastest realtors around. Call the Wiltons, a household name. Circle Track Chatter back with driver of the 51 Pure Stock of Flamborough Speedway, Reece Bourgeois. So, Reece, just talk a little bit about how some of your seasons kind of went. You said you won in 2021, and now we're kind of clicking away here after we got through COVID and stuff like that. How are your seasons going so far at Flamborough? Are you doing a lot of racing? Are you kind of sitting on the bench a little bit? How's that all going for you?
Definitely last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year and this year I haven't been racing much. I've been trying to focus on school, trying to get that done and over with. Hopefully next year I can get back out there more. It was definitely hard though, not being out there. You wake up Saturday and you're like, "Oh, dang, I'm not going to the racetrack today. That kind of sucks." But it's I definitely hope to get back out there soon with school being over and exams coming up. But last year it was also a little difficult. Like, I was going through some personal issues and it really took a toll on like my mental health, and I just couldn't. It was hard to race sometimes, just knowing that if you just overthink things, and it gets hard when you know like some people are gonna like give you a hard time on the track.
Yeah, and that's very unfortunate to hear because we definitely don't want to hear that. I mean, every car, every driver has a right to be out there racing for position, whether they're winning races or just kind of cruising around at the back. Everybody has a right to be out there competing. And I mean, if you're financially able to put a car on the track, well, there's no reason that you can't be out there. So there's no driver should ever have to deal with any shenanigans on or off the track or in the pit area or anything like that. So I'm very sorry to hear about that, but hopefully, like you said, mental health is very important versus having a race every single Saturday. So, you got to keep your mind right. And it looks like you got a big smile on your face. So as long as you're enjoying the racing part of it, that's the most important thing. Rob, do you have any questions about any of that?
Well, I'll tell you, when it comes to racing for me anyway, I used to tell people it was stress relief. It didn't matter how bad a week that I had. Once I get to the racetrack and I get strapped in and I get out there, you forget about everything, anything going on around you, and just focus on what you're doing. It's all I can explain it is it's stress relief. And yeah, and it's that adrenaline and forgetting about everything else and just going out there and racing. It's just a lot of fun. But anyway, I was looking at her car there and the wrap that she's got on. Did you design this wrap that you had this past year yourself, Reece?
We had some help from the person we got the wrap done from. I don't remember who it was, but um, yeah, my mom and I sat down and we were thinking about how to make the car not look so boring.
Well, it really looks nice. It stands out. That's really cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. But anyway, back to you, Craig.
Yeah, so that's some asphalt racing, dirt track racing. You decide at some point that you need a little bit more of a challenge because racing isn't challenging enough for you, apparently. Merrittville Speedway dirt track racing, was that? Did you do that on a dare, or was that something you wanted to do?
No, I wanted to do that.
That's cool. Tell us a little bit about how that all came about and how that went for you.
That race was insane. Okay. I was expecting it to be so like I was nervous, but I was excited because I've never raced dirt before. I was like, oh, this is gonna be either it's gonna go really well or it's gonna go terrible. And so a friend of ours, Craig Cole, he let me use his enduro car to run the ladies race last year at Wreckfest. Um, Mind you, he cut a hole in the plexiglass on his windshield because you couldn't see with the dirt, but I couldn't see out of it. So during the ladies race on like the straightaways and stuff, I would stick my head out the window to see. And it was something. My belts weren't tightened. Like I was just there. Like we were all just like standing in the pits, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Okay, ladies race, let's go." And I was like, I'm not even ready. Like I have my Crocs on. I don't have my shoes on. Like I'm not ready." And they're like, "Let's go. Like come on. You're going to be late. You're going to miss the race." And I was like, "Okay, give me a sec." So I didn't even put my fire suit on. Like I'm just in track pants and a sweater, and I just got in the car and everyone's already on the track, getting ready to go. They're like paired up, they're getting ready. There's one more lap to go until they're going green, and I'm still trying to buckle myself in, get in, and then I got on the track right when the green flag hit, and I just went. And I had so much fun. I had so much fun, and it was crazy. And I ended up finishing third, so it wasn't wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's impressive. Congratulations on a third place finish. Talk a little bit about dirt track racing because obviously it's a lot different than asphalt racing. Was it what you expected? Harder, easier, different? Talk about that a little bit.
I found it pretty easy. I drive my car on asphalt how I would drive on dirt anyways, so I didn't find it too difficult. Um, it was really fun. It was really different though having a car with powered steering when your car doesn't have powered steering. And the first time I turned, I was like, "Whoa, why did it turn so much?" Like what the heck? But it was so fun, and I would definitely do it again.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe you have to make a trip down here to Buxton Speedway and get yourself a mini stock and come and see how you can do out there with those guys. Sometime, if you ever get a chance. Once you're done with all your schooling and your exams and you have a lot more free time, then you can come and see us.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome. Rob, do you have any questions about that?
Well, where Reece lives, there's a number of different tracks that she could go race at. Where we are, sort of at the end of the province, we have to go your way to go racing. But where you're at, you've got because I was looking at you. So you race at Flamborough, but you've got Delaware, and Peterborough, and then on the dirt you've got Humberston, Merrittville, and Oshwegan. Most of those rules, as I was getting to earlier here, you've got Delaware calls it the bone stock division, and then on the dirt they call them mini stocks, and then Flamborough you call them your pure stocks. But they're all very similar. A lot of them front wheel drive, little 4-cylinder cars. I mean, if you've got the experience on the dirt and the asphalt, I think that man, there's a lot of places you could go. You don't have to stick to your one track. You can go many places within a couple of hours and race. And yeah, we'd love to see it come down here. We don't have a lot of cars in our mini stock division, but heck, if you get a chance, come on down. I think I mentioned to you earlier, the first time I saw that division race was at Delaware, and they had like 75 of those cars, and they went caution free for at least half that race, if not the whole thing. I was really impressed, and it was exciting to watch. So, man, it'd be cool to see you come down our way.
We'll definitely make time to do that.
All right.
Awesome. So, Flamborough Speedway 2024 season, how is it going for you? Where will we see you sitting in points if you're running for points, and coming to the end of the season? How is everything going for you so far?
I didn't register for points this year. I only raced one race, and that was back in May. I always race the first race in May. It's my Papa's Memorial Day, so I always race that day for him.
Okay.
But I didn't race much because I was finishing school and trying to work full time and all that stuff.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so looking ahead to the future, what's 2025 looking like for you? And will you be back out there racing in the pure stock division, or what do you got going on?
I do hope to race more next year. I can't really tell as of right now what I'll be doing, but I am hoping that I can get a few races in next year.
Okay, absolutely. And for sure, we hope that we get to see you out there, because we want to come out and see you race on your track, of course, at your home track, because we like to do a lot of traveling. Rob, do you have any question about any of that?
No, just other than you can tell Reece has got her head on straight as far as she knows that her education and all that comes before racing. Racing is a secondary thing, and later on in life, unfortunately, you got to pay the mortgage and you got to put groceries on the table first, and then the racing comes secondary. But I think you've got that all figured out. So that's as I said, I was impressed to see that you won Rookie of the Year. Basically in your first year, and winning the points championship. So man, that's for a short period of time in racing, you've really done a lot. So congratulations on all that. And as I said, I can't wait to at least meet you in person sometime and see you race, whether I go to Flamborough or you come down our way. So it's been very nice talking to you, Reece.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, for sure. And just curious, are you a race fan other than kind of what you watch at Flamborough? Do you watch racing on TV? Do you follow NASCAR or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we watch NASCAR all the time.
Who's your favorite driver?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
No?
There's a lot of good ones, but I can't think of like my favorite
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Yep, for sure. And if money was no object and life didn't happen and you could travel up and down the road and race anything, anywhere, what would be the dream race or the dream track for you?
Oh, that is a difficult question. I wish I could like race everywhere, have every type of car, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough question. So if you were going to make a jump from the pure stocks that you race right now, um, is running a like a late model up at the top, or are you thinking like a street stock or something like that, or a thunder stock or anything like that?
It's definitely a tie between like the OSS cars
Yeah.
and the late models.
Yeah, but the OSS division would be a good one to get into. And I know Laura Authier races in that division, and yeah, they good. That seems to be growing pretty good. So, and that's a traveling division too. So you get to go to a bunch of different tracks. So
Hmm.
good for you. That's something to shoot for. All right, back to you, Craig.
Yes, absolutely. So no matter whether you're racing in the OSS or in the pure stock division at Flamborough, it takes a lot to get these cars to the track, on the track, and ready for the next race day. Do you have some sponsors and some people on the pit crew that you would like to thank?
Yeah. For my sponsors, I would like to thank Mad Batter, Pretty in Pink Designs, Chris Dollar Quality Sealing, Stickers and Scuffs Podcast, and Ladies of the Oval. For my pit crew, I would like to thank my mom and my sister for dealing with my drama at the track and dealing with me at the track. My Oma and Papa for being there. My Oma for recording all the videos, taking a lot of pictures. My Uncle Ed for coming and supporting me and helping me with whatever needs to be done on my car. My friends Chris and Kenzie and their little one Haven for helping me trailer my car sometimes and supporting me, being there for me, anything like that. Heath and Austin Penny for helping me start my racing career and helping me rebuild my car when I wrecked it. And then the Flat Broke Racing guys at Flamborough for helping me last year with my timing belt. That was definitely an event that happened, and helping me with anything that has to deal with my car or any setups or anything like that. They're very helpful.
Absolutely. Well, that's great that you got a lot of support going on back there for your racing program. I am flat out of questions myself. Do you have anything else that you think we need to know about Reece Bourgeois before we let you off the hook here?
No, she's I certainly know a heck of a lot more about her now, and I'll be looking forward to, as I said, when I get down that way, or if we can get her to come this way. Yeah, it's really been nice talking to you, Reece. I can tell you're a well-educated young lady. You're smart, and you're looks like you got your life headed in the right direction. Got a good career ahead of you. So I hope you keep racing.
I hope so too.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us, Reece, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of this year. Whatever, hopefully you get back out to the track, and best of luck on your career and your exams and all the stuff that you got going on there. And we hope to see you on the track sometime soon.
Thank you. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for having me.
You're
Well, thank
welcome. Thank you
you.
very much. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there you go, Rob. We know a little bit more about Flamborough driver Reece Bourgeois. What did you think of that?
Yes, as I said, I was pretty impressed that she was rookie of the year, their first year. I mean, they got 15 or 20 cars, so I'm sure it wasn't easy to walk in there. And it sounds like she's got some good people helping her, and I know her mom and her sister are behind her and helping her out there. So that's good. It's nice to, as I said before, I found racing was a stress relief for me. Being in business and all the hassles you deal with day in and day out, to get to the track and forget about all that and just go out there and drive, and it's just takes a big load off your shoulders. I know it sounds strange, but it is. It's stress relief. There's not too many places you can go. Just stand on the gas as hard as you can, and just run around there as fast as you can. Yeah, it's not for everybody, but I know I really enjoyed the time that I had racing, and whether it was asphalt or dirt. Um, I don't know if I really wasn't. I wasn't one of those. I wasn't the kind of guy that went out and won point championships or anything like that. But I had a lot of fun running. If if you ran in the top 5, that was an achievement, and I enjoyed every minute of racing as far as my racing was concerned. I can tell that Reece is she's a young lady, and it's especially in the pharmaceutical business. You really have to be you have to know a lot. You don't want to don't want to mess up medication and stuff like that. But like I said, some of those pills are the wording is a mile long.
Yep. Yep, for sure. And yeah, like you said, I mean, she seems like she's pretty level-headed young lady, and she's got a bright future ahead of us, ahead of her, not ahead of us, ahead of her, and she's got a strong support system. So hopefully she gets back into the racing, can be out there weekly. And she didn't. Well, we'll have to catch up with her a little bit later on and figure out what the dream track is or the dream race or what is for her, because I didn't prep her on that question, and kind of threw her off a little bit. But I do want to hear the answer to that question eventually. Looking forward here this coming weekend, we will be back out at Buxton Speedway. I know we have our autograph night, our second of 2 autograph nights coming up. So we will be back out at Buxton Speedway this coming Saturday. I had a little bit of a hiatus there the last couple of weeks. I went and saw some different races in different places and had some fun at Brighton. You've raced at Brighton, haven't you, Rob?
Nope.
You never raced there?
Nope.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, fans, if you ever get a chance, go check out Brighton Speedway. It's great. It's a great little track, little 3rd miler. Got some banking there. We went and saw the sprints and their modifieds and different classes they had there. That was a lot of fun. Maryville, we were there as well. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. We've been to Humberstone this year, and we're going back home because there is no place like home. And I miss all of my local drivers, my friendly drivers, and we want to come out and see you guys race, of course, and do the video and everything like that. What do you think of all that, Rob Young?
Well, for me, Ashwegan and Humberstone weren't too far. Never raced at Maryville, but Brighton was a long haul, and I know that there's guys out there that say, well, guys from Brighton will come down our way, but we don't seem to make too many of the guys don't go that way. But yeah, geez, it's a long way to go, especially if you got to get home. If you come home the same night and stuff. But yep. And I was when I raced in the dirt, I was more than 50 years old. So yeah, I don't want to go more than a couple hours away from home.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, we didn't go down there. To do any kind of work. We just wanted to go support some of those drivers that have supported the Circle Track Chatter with all the contests and the best, the photo 1 month contests and all that stuff. So we wanted to go see some of those drivers that have supported us and make sure we took a chance to take in some racing at their home track. And I want to give a shout out to our buddy Ken Hare, mini stock driver at Maryville. He finished 2nd in the points and finished 2nd in the championship night feature race on Saturday night at Maryville Speedway. So congratulations to Ken. And Jeremy Cooper run the feature, the Pete Costco Memorial Mini Stock Race at Humberstone Speedway, and he gave us a shout out in Victory Lane. So that was cool. I'm glad that we were able to be down there to check all that out. But like I say, Buxton drivers, we love you. Buxton Track, we love you. We will be back out at Buxton Speedway this coming Saturday for sure. And I'm going to come and harass some of the drivers down in the pit area. We're going to get a whole bunch of interviews, and we're going to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. So, yeah, check out Buxton Speedway this coming Saturday. Thank you very much, as always, for joining us here on Circle Track Chatter, Rob. I'm so glad that you come in and join us, and I hope that you're having fun on with this stuff. We got to get more drivers on here, different places, different races. We got to get more people on here. What do you think of all that?
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a lot of fun to talk to them. Some of them, we're basically meeting them for the first time, just like our audience is. So, we're asking questions about what they do other than racing. We want to know what got them into racing and what do they do. So it's just fun when you see somebody on the track and I didn't know that guy did this or that or whatever. That's pretty neat.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, yes, we will be back in 2 weeks for Circle Track Chatter. Thank you very much, Rob Young, once again for joining us. Thank you to Angela Young-Botter back there in the production studio. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We see you back out at Buxton Speedway this coming Saturday. Hope you guys have a great short week because it is the holiday Monday. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and we will see you the next time. Circle Track Chatter presented by the Wiltons.
Yep.